Okay, everybody, we're here today to learn more or to talk more, explore ideas together. So this is a clinic setting. So this is not a how-to call. Hello, Michelle. This is not a hello. I'm just getting everybody to say hello because I was just saying this is not a how-to call. This is a clinic. So we're actually going to participate and help one another discover ways that we can work with our leads effectively, and we'll do that through talking about the different options that we have to work with leads. So before we begin, if everybody who's going to participate would go to the GPN back office, go to the how-to calls, and right underneath the recording for the how-to call yesterday, there's a download the accompanying document for your use, and I put together a little talking points guide so that we had something a little bit different than the GPN business building plan scripts to work with, if that's a better fit for people. So, you know, whatever's a better fit for you, but I'd encourage you to go download the talking points document because we talk a little bit more about the headline and what we may say, and then I want to see everybody's ideas on the headlines as well. So I'll give you a few minutes to go on over there, a minute or two to go on over there and get that. And if you have any trouble getting it, please let me know right away, okay?
Now, hello, actually, good evening.
Yes. Hello.
I was going to say, if people can't find it, send me an email. Yes. Excuse me, send me an email and I'll reply with the link.
Okay, and so we had just said in the GPN back office, for anybody who just came on the call, there's a document that you can download that is talking points for today's call. So to get there, all you have to do is click the how-to link on the GPN homepage. Right underneath the call from September 6th, yesterday's call, it says, please download the accompanying document for your use. If you click there, you'll open up the talking points document.
In the English page, you're saying?
Yes, to be in the
well,
English
it's in the Academy. So it's in the GPN Academy. So the GPN Academy is only in English.
At the moment. Yes. Soon to change, soon to change.
Any problems, ask Leanne.
And Leanne will be good. Now, we're going to be helping one another. So we'll want to stay on topic here today and, you know, give good feedback and work with one another, help each other to really work with these documents effectively because, you know, we got to get started. And the hardest part of any marketing tactic, I've always learned for many years, is to get started. So this is going to be our little jump start to help you get going. So far, people, if you've purchased leads, we'll talk about the leads for a moment, and then we'll go right ahead. If you haven't downloaded the document from the GPN Academy yet, by all means do. You'll need that for today's call. So let's really quick. Now I know some of you have received I sent out several packages of leads here this afternoon, and so you should have received your leads by now. If you didn't order leads and you're on the call to learn, that's more perfectly fine. But if you have ordered leads, you go ahead and open up that document. And we'll just look really quickly. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but if you do have specific questions, just ping me here on GPN or Skype or shoot me an email, and I'll be happy to get with you and answer a specific detailed question. But basically, if you look at the leads list, you'll see first name, last name, email, address, city, state, zip, all of those good things. You'll see the best time to call. You'll see what time zone they're in. IP address, so we know that somebody from an IP address went in and took those leads or sent their lead in, and also a timestamp. The timestamp is the time and date they actually filled out the information on the form. So these are very verified leads, extremely well verified, so that if people were to say, well, I didn't do that, blah, 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 it's like, well, no, actually you did on this date at this time. Sometimes people forget. It's not like they're maliciously doing it, but, you know, you can remind them and that sort of thing. And, of course, if there's fraud going on, we have the IP address, so, you know, we surely want to know that as well if somebody's just opting people in. But that's not likely because there's 7 other questions that they had to answer to get on this list. So those are all things that you can take comfort in knowing. But also when you're calling people, you know a lot about them. You know the reason that they're looking for a business. You know what kind of income they're looking to make as far as a range. You know how interested they are. You know what hours they have available to work in a home business, and you know what sort of an investment range they have in mind to be able to get started. So all of those things combined makes it very easy to begin to start to have a natural conversation with these people. The other thing I want to point out is that there are 2 approaches to this situation. We have 2 ways of actually working with your direct outreach active marketing campaign. One is to use the GPN Business Building Plan, which is in the GPN back office. The Business Building Plan is a done-for-you, step-by-step sales process. Prior to coming to GPN since 2001, I built sales processes for small and micro businesses over and over again. So this is one of those processes. It's all done. You don't have to think about it. Open it up, rock and roll, start working with it. Option 2 is to have natural conversations with people, and that's what we're going to discuss today. I put the document talking points up as a way to get us started, but it's my hope and goal that we actually uncover different talking points. How might you approach it and kind of go from there? So, and add to that document here after today. So if you would take a look at that document, the talking points document. And, we say that in terms of this campaign, the pre-staging calls, our main goal, our main value that we have to offer to people is to help them find a personal path to success in a home business that's a good fit for them. So we help them make money from home in a way that's comfortable for them. And so that's kind of where we're starting from. So why don't we kind of open up the floor here a little bit? If you're muted, go ahead and unmute, and we will kind of get your ideas. Now, again, we're looking for a headline that when people hear it, when you call, we want to interrupt their thought process a little bit by saying, what are you talking about? Tell me more about that. So we think that if we look at what's there right now, just giving you a quick call to see if getting guidance on how to find your personal path to success and make money from home would be helpful to you. Would you like help? That's pretty direct. That's different than what everybody else is saying because I know those scripts because I've studied them extensively. And so I wanted to give something that would interrupt. So what do you guys think? What would you think would interrupt someone's thought process enough to make them say, tell me more about that? Let's start with Bill. Go.
Okay, sorry. How about great? You call and you say you ask for the person, Bill, and you say yeah, and I say great news, Bill. I've got the information that you requested. Do you have a minute?
Okay, good. And then where do you go from there?
Well, then I go into. I just thought you were looking for a headline.
Well, that is. I mean, I'm just going to say that I am, but I'm kind of curious now. See, tell me more about that.
Well, I haven't read that far in your talking
okay.
Bill. I just came up with the headline, man. Come on, give me a break.
Well, that's a great headline. So now listen, everybody, what do you guys think about that? I think that's really kind of a neat idea, because they absolutely request information.
I'll be willing to role play on that, Bill. Starting with Bill. Bill. Okay, so hi, Bill. This is Summer Reed calling you from sunny Minneapolis, Minnesota. I've got the information you were looking for.
What information is that?
Well, sorry about that. Do you, wait a minute. The information about helping people find their personal path to success and becoming successful as you help them. Do you like to help people make a positive change in their life?
Well, yeah, I do, but you mentioned some information that I requested. When did I request that information?
Well, how do you make a positive difference in people's life?
Hey, Simmery, you may want to go back to Bill's talking point. You know, I was giving you a quick call. Wait a minute, Bill, what'd you say?
Oh, in the talking points document, we had said, I was just giving you a quick call to see if getting guidance on how to find your personal path of success and making money from home would be helpful to you.
Well, I was trying to get to this point of you completed an online, you completed a survey.
I know, and
that's where I was trying to get to.
I totally get that, Bill, and I was remembering Caroline's point last night where she kept saying, I asked them questions, but I didn't have my questions kind of ready. I know that's what you were fishing after,
right?
And that's my problem, Bill. Bill Gluth now. I know that's what we're trying to interrupt the pattern, but I also know what they're asking for. So it's keeping the balance between respecting them and answering the question that they're asking, but at the same time trying to do this pattern interrupt. Because I knew the Bill was going, and towards that second time there, I thought I had stretched it a little too long.
Here's my question.
Hang on. Let me make a comment here because this is really important.
When I get things started, Bill. Sorry.
When people ask a question, well, what form or what are you talking about? What information did I request? You can say, because you've purchased the leads from the lead program, if you have, you will know, you could say, well, Bill, on May the 24th at 11:48 a.m., your local time, you had requested information about home business, and I was just contacting you to find out if getting guidance on how to find your personal path to success and making money from home, if that would help you. Would knowing that be helpful to you?
Okay, let me try again. So, Bill, let's start again.
Okay.
So, go ahead. Hello.
You're going to do ring, ring?
You're going to talk to me now?
No, you go on with ring, ring, and I'm going to say hello.
All right. Ring, ring.
Hello.
I've got this nice tone. Hello, is this Bill?
This is Bill.
Bill, this is Semma Reed calling you from sunny Minneapolis, Minnesota. I've got the information. Oh, thank you. It's a very close name to me. And I kind of like Bill, too. Do you go by Bill or do you like William?
I go by Bill, and we're now best friends.
I'm so happy. I am calling about a wonderful way to help people find their personal path to success and ourselves becoming successful at the same time. Do you like to help people make a positive change in their lives?
Well, how'd you get my name and number?
Do you remember on May 27th, you filled out this survey about starting a home-based business, and you remember now?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Oh, wonderful. Because what I'm calling about is a group of people who help people like me and you find our personal path to success at a home-based business. Have you ever been in a home-based business and they try to get you to do things that you feel uncomfortable about?
Oh, yeah. I've started 2-3 of them and quit 2-3 of them.
Oh, is that right? Where did you start?
Well, I did a health and wellness kind of deal, and that didn't work out. I did an insurance deal, and that didn't work out. So, but I believe that there's something out there for me. That's why I completed the form.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So would it be fair to say, Bill, that it's not so much what is there out there for you, but it's the way to go about it that's been missing in those things that you tried before?
Well, that could be. I hadn't thought about it that way.
And so if there was a way that someone could call you to explore with you, what would be a way to build your business that leaves you feeling totally comfortable, like you're doing things that you feel are right with you? Would you be interested? Would that help you?
Well, yeah. I mean, it would help me consider doing this again. I've done it a couple of times, so maybe a third time is a charm,
third time is a charm. Well, it's not really the third time. It's the way, the way of doing it. And so people, yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, You're saying don't think of it as having failed a couple of times, just that I'm going to learn how to do it perhaps the right way this first time.
Exactly. And again, I'm not even saying the right way, Bill. I'm saying finding Bill's way of doing it. Okay. And so the people that I'm working with, one of them that is really very good at helping you find your way to do the business, they could give you a call and talk with you, and there's nothing expected. It's free to help you find out whether their way of doing that would work for you. Would that be something you'd be interested in?
Well, only because it's free. Yeah.
Well, that works for me.
Or maybe especially because it's free.
I hear you. There's a lot of stuff out there, isn't there, that takes money and doesn't give you anything back. Whereas this is a way for someone to give you something, help you find out whether this would work for you in a way that those other things haven't worked for you, and then you don't have to pay anything for it.
Well, sounds good to me.
Wonderful. So would it be okay then for me to arrange for one of these guys to give you a call and set up this conversation for you to follow this up?
Sure.
And what I have here is, and then I would double check then his name and address and all of that.
Very good, Summary.
That was excellent, Summary. See, very good natural conversation. Now, let's stay on topic here with Samarit's conversation with Bill. What did you guys hear? What did you experience? What was your feeling? Could she have done something different? Could she have? What did you really like? Anybody? What kind of comments do we have specific to Samarit's conversation with Bill here just a moment ago?
Well, the whole entire conversation was good once it got rolling. But initially, you don't know if the other person is busy doing something, that is she's involved in. I would have to ask her, stop her, and first say, do you have, if it is Bill, hi, Bill, do you have a moment to speak, or are you tied up at this moment? And then let the Bill respond to that. If he says, no, I'm tied up, when would be a good time for me to call? And that way you're not intruding. Sometimes when you're intruding on a person, when they are busy, they get irritated and they might say, what do you want? And we have a tendency to then shy away or put the phone down and I'm not calling this guy. And that's a natural reaction. But
good comment.
If you come in with the first thing to stop their thinking, whatever they're doing, you have to break that thought process. If they are, talking to a child, or cooking, or doing whatever it is they're involved in, you got to stop them first and say, "Hi, Bill, do you have a moment to speak?" And then stop.
Now, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let them say whatever is appropriate. And then take it from there and say, so you have some free moments. Can you give me 5-10 minutes? And if they agree, that's when I understand that you requested some information on this some time ago. Do you recollect that? And then if they say, no, I don't recollect, well, did you say something to so-and-so on such and such a date at such and such a time? And that's the information I've got, and and so on.
Okay. So, now let me ask the group then, so we don't get away from this point. In the past, in terms of direct outreach, we did always used to ask, "Do you have a moment?" Today, people are so busy and so distracted by everything. They have a 3-second attention span, basically. We don't do that because it's not been a best practice. But I want to hear from the group, Bruce or Michelle or Leanne. We've all gotten calls like that. What do you guys feel? Do you feel that, because that is a polite thing to do, but we find that we get shut down often because people go, "Yeah, I'm busy. What do you want?" They want a payoff because they don't have any idea who you are, why you're calling, all of that. And, so I just like to know what the group thinks. Caroline, you're in here, and I know from the European standpoint, people are more friendly than they are in North America. God bless you for that. but Bruce and Michelle and everybody, and Bill, what do you guys think about Bridget's comment?
Well, this is Bill. I like Bridget's comment, but I like my headline better. I like Bill's idea of breaking their train of thought. So to me, it would go something like this. Hey, Bill, I've got that information that you requested. I expect you to say what information.
Right.
And then it's an appropriate time to, if I wanted to do what Bridge suggested, I could say, well, do you have a minute? Well, you're still thinking about what information. So I've asked for permission. You're likely now to say, well, sure. And then I can say, well, look, whatever it is that follows. But I really like the idea of a headline, Bill.
Okay, no, that's good. Now, Bruce, what do you think?
Well, I find that when I make calls like this, that I just have to kind of listen to from the person, and you can kind of tell how distracted someone is, and they'll usually tell you, I'm right in the middle of this, and you can, if you sense that, I usually can sense that something's going on if they don't seem totally attentive, and then I ask them, is this okay time or is this time okay with you to talk, or
but if you sense that they are irritated, they won't let you even say another word. You have to start with finding out if it is the appropriate time. That's how I feel. They could be just finishing dinner. They could be washing dishes, whatever that is. The irritation in the voice, then everything stops, and then you don't know when to call back. So you're left in the dark. That's my opinion. I mean, I've done a lot of cold calls in my lifetime, and I feel that if you're not approaching them and they shut you out, then you don't know when to call them again, or not you again, and if there's another time, and they can be yelling at you. So.
No, and the big thing that we've talked the big thing that I've encountered is that when you say, "Do you have a minute to talk?" It's like, "No, I'm really busy. What do you want?" See, so they want to know. People don't want a mysterious voice on the phone. I sense, saying, who are you, or, what, do you have a minute to talk, before I even know what this is about, or who you are, or why you're calling, or any of that. So we're just trying to say, I don't disagree with the idea. We used to always do that, but we found a lot of people shut us down early, and they kind of got, irritated, and then if they don't talk, you get them on the phone, and then you're going to call them over and over again. I mean, like, what have you found, Bridge, as far as the response rate when you call them back? Like, how many times are they there, and do they set an appointment with you if they're not?
Yeah,
they
do. No, Bill, hold it. No, if they are going to be irritated right at the beginning when you're saying, "This is Bridge Puri calling. Can I speak with Bill Kluth?" And he says, "Yes, this is Bill. Hi, Bill. Do you have a moment to speak?"
No, I don't. I'm really busy right now. What do you want?
Well,
what's this about?
What would be a
Why are
good
you
time
calling me?
to talk? Because they have.
I don't know who you are. What do you want?
Well, you had requested some information, and that's what I was calling about.
What information
if it's
is
a bad
that?
time, I can call you back some other time. Can you give me some?
What information is that you're calling me about? I don't know who you are. I don't have any idea what you're calling me about.
Yeah, well, unless I can explain what the issue is. First, I wanted to know if you have the time.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't right now. Why don't you call me back at another time? Okay, thanks a lot. See, and so we don't ever interest them. See, we're dancing.
Well,
with
Bill,
them.
you did that on purpose. It's not
always.
No,
but I get these calls. See, when a telemarketer calls me, I pick it up and play with that.
Calls. I've made the calls where people said exactly what Bill just did.
Exactly. It happens all the time.
You just can't get the door open, and I think that's why I was so nervous. It was such beautiful feedback from Bridge that says once the conversation got started, I did okay, and that's my big problem. I know that if I can get in the door, I can do the conversation, but I get so nervous at, am I going to get through the door? And it's because of what you just did, Bill Blues. I mean, that happens to me so often.
Well, it happens to everybody, but let's not dwell on this. This isn't the purpose of the call. But if you see, this is personal style. My personal style is give them a headline, tell them what I want, make the call 2 to 3 minutes, just like a video I'm doing on YouTube to interest somebody in what I'm offering. Get it done, boom, 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 we're out of here, next call, because people's attention span is compressed. But I don't ever want to dictate to anybody and say, that doesn't work. If it works for you, do it. See, this is what marketing is about. It's about testing. If you're not getting a good response, do something different. So I think this bridge, you have a very valid point, extremely valid. And we always used to do it that way, for many, many years, long time. But today, we find that people are so distracted, we need to go for it because they want to know, who are you, what are you doing, and all that. And Caroline, I bet you're thinking right now, gosh, I'm so glad I don't call those crazy people in North America. My God.
Hey, Bill?
Yes, sir.
But before you go to Caroline, may I just ask Simmery, are you okay? Do you feel that by using a headline, you will be able to overcome that nervousness that you feel? Is that something you want to try?
I love the idea of a headline.
Okay.
It worked really well. And in answer to Bridget's question, I did not stop to ask you if you had a minute because I was reading the energy in your voice. You were hooked with this, and then I want you to respond back to me. I mean, what I felt was that you were hooked with this thing that I had the information for you, that you had filled out the thing, and I was, inserting a couple of things. You were responding to me, and so it would have broken the momentum to say, oh, do you have a minute? So that's back to Caroline's point last night of reading what the voice is letting us know.
Yeah, you're right. But, I just recently did some surveyed calls that the GPN gave me. And usually you will see that these calls, these lists that you get, you can do 3 to 5% best response.
Yes.
If I told you that I got 16% response, that'll blow you away. It's unheard of.
Sure does.
Yeah, and I got 16% response that I passed on to Denise. Now, how many people can say that, you get 8 or 9 people out of 50, which is 16 to 18% response, when the average is 3 to 5. So what am I doing right? What am I doing to total strangers I don't even know? I have this list, as Bill Gluth said. I have this list with me of 50 people. I don't know them from Adam. And they are ladies and gentlemen. They're all in the U.S. I'm calling from Canada. I'm calling from Saskatchewan, Canada. They don't even know who the hell, where is this Saskatchewan in Canada? But I'm starting off with a point of saying, hi, how are you? Do you have a moment? I take their name. They know this person is talking. My name is so-and-so. I introduce myself first and then say, is this Bill or whoever that is, or Caroline or whoever. And then you respond by saying, listen, you sent me you requested some information. Do you have a moment to speak? Then they will say, what information did I request? I don't recollect. Then the door is still open. Even if they're irritated, they can say, well, can you call me some other time? I'm busy right now. When would be a good time? The conversation is just fluid, very fluid, very open. It's not like saying, what do you think? Why? No, am I disturbing at the wrong time when you hear the irritation? I feel that when you get this kind of response, even today, I can say proudly that there are many ways to approach this subject. It's not just one way. There are many ways. It is how you, which is comfort. You have to feel comfortable.
Exactly.
As we hear, I think that's true. You, the individual, you have to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And
that's
so
what I said.
if you, that's what I'm saying. But if you are comfortable with a technique, by all means use it. So I don't want to dwell on this for, it's kind of going on a little bit long as far as this particular, what should we say, as far as should we ask permission. If it feels good to you in your heart, because remember, Jim Rohn, the great late Jim Rohn, what we say is 20% of the effect. How we feel about what we say is 80% of the effect. If you feel good about saying, am I reaching you at a good time, or am I disturbing you, or whatever you would say, then by all means, keep saying it. If it works for you, great. If you, by the other hand, feel like, gee, that's not going to work for me, don't say it. So see, this is part of the talking point. If you haven't downloaded the talking point document, please do, because I really want to add to it. But at some point...
Where do we find that? I'm sorry.
Oh, that's on the how-to call from yesterday. You go to the GPN Academy, the educational series, how-to calls, and underneath September 6th, there'll be a download the accompanying document for your use, and click here.
Okay.
You can download that document. So, it's all that what works for you. And so we've got to find that, but you have to be comfortable. So if you're not comfortable delivering a headline, don't do it. If you're not comfortable, pick up the phone and call it. No, stop. If you're not comfortable, calling people at all, don't do it. So it's not an argument. It's what you're comfortable with. I would never, Bill, would never say to somebody, am I bothering you at a good time? I would make a 2 to 3 minute presentation.
I didn't say bother.
If we need to talk. Or am I calling you at a good time? We got it. But I'm just saying we don't want to dwell on it. So let's move on and hear from some of the other people on headlines.
Yeah, but don't you want to give the other person respect of his time?
Yes, you do. And by saying, giving them a headline they want to hear, I've learned in my world, gets people interested. And then once they're interested, I can be interested in them, then I become interesting to them. So, it's just a matter of personal style. So please take all of everything you're hearing in the recording as well and in this call and incorporate it. Try it and test it. If you get a good response, keep doing it. If the good response goes away, stop doing it. So remember, and if you don't want to pick up the phone and call at all, do something different. It's okay. It's personal style. So please be okay with that. It's totally fine. We don't have to do it any one way. You have to do it your way. Bill Calhoun will do it different than Bill Gluth, and Michelle Taylor will do it different than Bridge, and Bruce Calkins will do it different than Caroline. So we kind of got this is wonderful conversation, so empowering, because we can say this is personal style, and wonderful that it would come up. We must honor our personal style. I couldn't agree more. Absolutely. But now we've gone beyond how we break the ice, however that is. We know the first step is to break the ice. Bridge, I think your point is good. I mean, I don't disagree with it in any way, but I don't particularly use it myself because, to me, I get shut down when I do it. But you're a different voice, you're a different personality, a different energy. People may obviously they respond to that differently. And so that's okay. That's fine. Keep doing what you're doing. It's working. So that's fantastic. But if it stops working, try a different approach. But somebody else, Michelle Taylor, I see that you're on here. What kind of you're wonderful with headlines. You're so, strike up a conversation, trip somebody in the supermarket and start talking to them. What do you say about all this, about this headline thing? What's your ideas?
I agree with Bill. I like the one-liner. You can complete a form online asking for some information. And I do say, is now a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, I've got like the high energy, fun voice, hey, how are you today? So usually I catch their attention just with that. That's kind of my personal style. And then I just start asking questions.
Okay.
I see you filled this out online. What have you been doing? How has it been working for you? Has it not been working for you? What's your experience been? Well, here's this opportunity, this group that we're, then I go into the whole GPN thing.
Okay. And when you go into the whole GPN thing, how do you typically deliver that? What do you typically say?
Well, that we're offering a community of like-minded people. We're here to help each other. You get personal one-on-one coaching. I go through that whole scenario.
Okay, great. And then you offer them the free consultation.
Free consultation from there, and just keep it light and, just keep it unpainful.
Exactly. Well, and see that's the thing is that this is that personal style thing again. It's like you've got
to make them feel that there's no agenda attached, that I could care less. Either way, this is just an opportunity that I would like to introduce you to. If it feels good, great. If not, I understand. At least we're friends. I made a new friend today, and I've said that too.
Yep, that's
okay.
perfect.
So do you say that? I mean, I think that's excellent. This thing about how do you convey that you have absolutely no agenda?
Yeah, Samarit, may I just answer? Michelle Taylor was my coach.
Sure.
And I guarantee you that is exactly how I felt when I first spoke with her. It was as if it didn't matter to now. She was interested in me. I got that, but she was not trying to get me to respond in a certain way at a certain time. It's just her personality, and that's why what Bill Gluth is saying is so important. That we've got to do this work to find what works for us. I mean, Bill's great. Yes. He's guiding us, but we've got to do the work. We've got to discover what's right for us. I believe Bridge when he says he's getting 16% response because he's discovered what works for him. What Bill Calhoun is on this call to do is to discover what works for me.
There you go.
And what works for me even when I'm nervous. Because it's like, I know that I'm interested in you, Bill, and I know, but in that little 3 minutes before I knew whether or not the conversation was going to take off, I get nervous, and because of that, then I'm not without an agenda. You know what I mean?
Try the headline and see if the nervousness goes away.
I like that headline. For sure. And I also like both Bridge and Michelle Taylor's thing. I mean, it's fine to say, do you have a minute to talk? And then also, Samarit, too, what's happening in your mind is that you have the agenda to sell something. And you don't have anything to sell at all. You have no way to take money from anybody. You have no offer that involves cash whatsoever. You are a light in the world of business, in the dark world of people's mind of business that they don't know what to do. You're going to help them, and you have something for free to give them. You're calling to ask them if they want it. That's the truth of the situation. Those are the facts. The nurture marketing partner, now that's another story. That's the person doing the selling here now. But you, the person who's calling, you're a light in the darkness of micro business. You're here to energize and shine that light on people that want the help. You're looking to find out if they would like help finding their personal path to success. If they say no, you say, thank you very much. It's all kind of one word. Thank you very much. You hang up the phone. However you get there. If they say yes, you say, well, good news. I've got a way to help you, and tell them about your experience and tell them, gee, I found this community, GPN. I love them because they're heart-centered people, great community, a lot of instruction and community calls, all kinds of great things that I love. And they let me set up a free consultation for people like you that like to see what their personal path to success might be. Would you like to take advantage of that? That's it. See, because you have something to give away. There's nothing to sell. So we got to get sell out of your mind, Samarit. This might be what's holding you back. And anybody else, too, if you feel nervous, it's because you think you have something to sell. And every person who has a leads list, every person who's going to use the direct outreach approach as part of their marketing campaign, you have nothing to sell. You're giving things away to people, only to people who want help finding their personal path to success.
That's
so, however you get there.
This is complete disclosure, Bill. I am nervous, not necessarily because I have something to sell, but it's more like, did I do a good job on this call?
Melissa,
you know what I mean? And so the good job is
suggestion?
Yes,
Can I give you a practical suggestion? I'll tell you why, because I have experience in this. Take it or leave it. It doesn't matter. I'm just trying to be helpful. Take 3 deep breaths before you pick up the phone.
Good.
And nervousness is natural. And if you take 3 deep breaths, it'll calm your system down. Your voice will be calmer. Your body will be calmer. Take 3 deep breaths and then make the phone call. Now you have taken 3 deep breaths. You have no thought about selling and talking. You're just being in a friendly tone. Your system is calmed down. And you will come across as a calm, cool cucumber, as a not calm person. Yeah.
No, good suggestion.
Nervous. Every time we are talking to a stranger, we are nervous. So take 3 deep breaths. Try it. I guarantee you will feel so much better picking up the phone after 3 breaths that you're going to, say thank you to the good Lord for me talking.
I'm gonna print your picture, Bridge, and I'm gonna have it like right there in front of me.
No,
I'm gonna make believe I'm talking to Bridge.
Like Bill Gluck, I'm always able to talk to people. He's got a lot of experience in one direction. I've read a lot of books on sales and marketing as a financial planner. And I've attended thousands of seminars and all that, but that's beside the point. The point is we are all here to help each other. They're different. Bill is giving you one way of doing things. I'm giving you suggestions from what has helped me, help my son, whom I brought into the business. So, it's all a question of learning. We are here to learn, and that never ends. Well, you learn from Bill. He shares phenomenal suggestions. There are others that have this thing. So it's to get your nervousness and all your problems out on the open so somebody can give you a suggestion that will help you. Try these 3 breaths before you pick up a phone and let me know what you think. You can come with us if you don't like it.
No, deep breathing definitely helps. And I'll tell you something else that helps a lot. Smile when you're making the calls. Physically smile. That changes the tone of your voice. Also, I've learned standing up. Sometimes standing up for some people is helpful to them. So the breathing, standing up, smiling when you're talking, because see, we're here to be of service. See the light in your heart getting bright. You know what I mean? You're here to help somebody if you can, and if you can't, you bless them anyway and you move on, because you can't help people that don't want your help. You know what I mean? So this is really, I think, the mindset piece of it, just finding your comfort zone, like Bill Calhoun had to say. You got to find what works for you. And, a lot of his experience, I know when I was a pro musician, we had to play the same song over and over again to get good at it, and then it really came together. But, it's the same with this. You have to do this, repeatedly to get, feel more comfortable. The first time you do anything, first time you drove a car, you probably didn't feel very comfortable about it. But now, I've been driving for, a couple of weeks now, and so I'm pretty comfortable, right? And so that's kind of the thing to think about here, but all excellent point. Yeah. Now, I have Bruce Calkins. I want to hear from you, because you have a different mindset in my mind. My impression, your personal brand to me, is that you have a little bit different sort of a mindset and approach. So how do you deal with your nervousness? I know, that you might have a different way of doing it.
Well, ideally before I start making these calls, I do a little meditation, or I do a Buddhist chant, actually.
Awesome, great, yeah.
So, I mean, if nothing else, the deep breathing, or the rhythmic, focused, or what's the word? Intentional. Is that what I'm not sure what.
Do you do hum mani padme hum?
Breathing, but excuse me.
Do you say Om Mani Padme Hum? That's a Buddhist chant.
Nam Myo Ho Renge Kyo.
Okay, and they also is Om Mani Padme Hum is a Buddhist chant.
Well, we don't want to teach anybody the Buddhist chant. We can learn. We'll do that in a separate clinic. Not that I don't love them. I do love them, but not today. We won't go there. But
I was curious.
No. I love it. But no, this is really good. You see what we're doing here? We put ourselves like I like to picture the other person before I start making calls. I might like to picture in my mind the other person, just the other people I reach out to, as being receptive and open and happy. And, glad to hear from me. But all that really does, we're back to the Jim Rohn thing. How do you feel about what you say?
Yes.
That's 80% of the result. And if you don't know who Jim Rohn is, he's passed now, but he is a brilliant, beautiful man. If you don't know his work, you should. I'd encourage everybody. But that one particular passage sticks in my mind so much because, we talk to people. We're in network marketing. We network. We talk to people. And so that's really, really good. So let's get back to headlines, though, because there's so much great thinking going on here today. What about other headlines? We say personal path to success. That's just what, Denise sees in GPN, what I saw in GPN, what I think a lot of people see in GPN. But what do you guys see in GPN? Simmery, let's forget about the calling. What about, what do you see in GPN? Do we help people find their personal path to success? What have you found that we do, in your opinion?
GPN helped me be myself when I'm building the business.
Good, okay.
It helped me stay true to my real, authentic nature as
I love it.
In the business.
Good. Now, tell me more about that.
Well, do you want me to do that?
I'm just talking. We're just talking now. We're not.
Okay. Well, when I first joined GPN, I was so stressed all the time because I'm very ambitious, and so I would do everything that I was told to do, but I was always anxious and nervous because it felt like I had to put myself in the shape of something that I wasn't. And so I was saying things that weren't in alignment with my values.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Okay, great.
So does that ring a bell for you, Bill? This thing about having to do something that's not aligned with your values?
Absolutely. I've left more positions in my life because they weren't aligned with my values than anything.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Even it's funny that we would go to doing a home-based business because we had to leave positions because of that, and then I found myself doing the same thing in what was supposed to be my business, and so I looked around because it felt I was getting sick from that kind of division inside of myself, and found this community. Yeah.
And then what has been your experience now that you found the community? You said you were getting sick and other things didn't align with your value and people were telling you what to do and stretch you in a shape that you weren't. What's happened now that you're here?
Well, it's really funny because you know how sometimes in home-based business people are always asking you to do more and, how many calls and how many. The first thing I had to learn with this community of international people is to stop doing so much so that I could come back in alignment with who I am. And having taken the time to do that, now I'm really excited about getting into action and finding the kinds of action that are really aligned with who I am.
Wow.
So, this thing that we're talking about, like making phone calls, I could never make phone calls before. But then I heard this guy talk about how making phone calls is really like being a light and being of service to people. Now, that allows me to make phone calls in a way that's really true to what my true nature is.
And, we're really not making phone calls. We're really doing direct outreach. We're just using the phone for the economies of scale, right?
Yes,
we could go visit everybody all over the country, all over the world.
That would be fine. But one of the reasons I want a home-based business is so that I'm not always, driving my car, going out. I love being in my home.
There you go.
So many years making it be a healing environment that it's wonderful to be able to be of service through the telephone or through Skype, and share with other people the healing energy of my own home and my own heart.
Marie, that was beautiful. Now let me tell you what's happened here, okay? That is how you talk to people when you call them up and do direct outreach. That was beautiful. You tell your experience. You tell your story. That's your personal brand. That was the best story I've ever heard. I was engaged. I loved it. Every minute of it. Loved it.
Wow.
It was fabulous. Because it was you. It was you.
Oh. So what's my headline, though?
Huh?
My headline is: Do you want to do a business without changing your true nature? Or,
Well, why not? Why not try it? That's
okay.
Let's write it down. Do you want to do a business without changing your true nature? We test it.
Okay.
I love that, though. That's authentically you. See. Now, if you do that with that same tone of voice, see, because we were just talking, and that's all you're doing. That was beautiful. It was wonderful. Now, everybody else out there, anybody and everybody, what was your feeling toward that? How would you receive Samarit if she called you and talked to you like that?
Oh,
anyone?
Her genuineness and her kindness came through. And so I would be inclined to talk to her.
Yep. There you go.
The bottom line is when you're authentic, and I mean, we take clinics like this to learn from those who have gone before and who have the expertise, and we get ideas. But as we've been going back and forth, the idea here is that you find really what works for you. That's the whole point of GPN. And so you try something on, and if it doesn't fit, you take it off. But you don't throw out your whole closet. You just move on to the next thing. Yeah.
That's great.
You don't run around naked. You just find something else to put on. And Samarit, you did that beautifully. You did that just beautifully.
Absolutely. And I think what I observed Samarit doing, which I thought was fantastic, that was her personal brand. Samarit, that's your personal brand right there. It was beautiful, calm and engaging and heart-centered. I mean, that was great. And so, every one of us has to find that place in ourselves that's authentically us. Somebody else, anybody, why are you here in GPN?
Well, as I said earlier, I'm interested in finding and discovering how to do this. I no longer am interested in anybody telling me how to do it. I've gone through that before.
Okay.
I now know I've got to discover it for myself. So I'm interested in being with coaches and colleagues who can help me discover it. But I've got to do the work. That's why I'm here.
Okay, cool. Now, what is it from GPN, Bill Calhoun? What have you found is the greatest value you've received from GPN, from your GPN membership so far?
Well, there's no competition. And
what does that mean?
What it means is there's no the competitive nature that is in me. You talk about personal brand. I know how competitive I can be.
Okay.
And I don't have that feeling when I'm in this community.
Oh, okay. How do you feel instead?
I feel I'm engaged. I am intentionally listening. I'm becoming a better listener. I have to tell you that I don't feel like I've been a great listener the whole of my life.
And how does that make you feel? How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel?
Better about myself.
In what way?
Because I feel as if I'm respecting other people.
And how does that make you feel when you respect other people?
It just means that I'm aligned with my Creator, because I think that is what I'm supposed to do. I think that's how I'm created, to respect other people.
And right
on.
Right on.
Awesome. Very, very good. So see, these are the things that we have to ask ourselves, I think, in terms of, who are we and how does this all fit? But, I just threw out some ideas, like in the business building plan, just as a way to get started. Now this clinic is just so helpful. But, who are you? Why are you here? Like, see, I have a very selfish, self-centered motive for being in GPN and doing what I'm doing with GPN. It's completely about me, totally self-centered, because I'm determined to change the face of work in the world through micro business and self-empowerment of the individual through the small business. Imagine if more and more and more people could find a path to making a living under their own terms, how would that change the world? It would be magnificent. So I'm completely selfish. I'm here just for that reason, to make people do that. So
Bill,
that's me.
how did you get here?
Oh, that damn Michael Oliver, just like everybody else.
Yeah, no, not I didn't get Michael Oliver. I just got an email from God knows where. It wasn't from Michael Oliver. But my question is
I got it from Michael Oliver.
No, it wasn't.
No, it was for me.
My question to you is this: you have gone through a life's journey, which wasn't. You were just guided. The
That's
Spirit
right.
soul that guides you. All your experiences, all about Jim Rohn. I've read him. I have his tapes. That's your destiny. That's how you're guided, and eventually you land in GPN, which resonates with you, and you are teaching people something that they're hungry to learn. Bill has got to do some soul searching to find what he finds uncomfortable and what he finds comfortable, and he can talk to everybody and find his own path by talking, by discussing, by exploring. Everything that he says I don't like, he'll come to the point where he will find something he likes. Right. And this is the exploration that he has to go through. Just as you have come to GPN, I have come to GPN a very different route. Absolutely different route. It'll blow you away. Don't want to get into that, but I think
let's stay on the topic though. Let's stay on the topic.
I'm on the topic. We are learning from each other. So if we have an input, then no matter what that input is, somebody will resonate with that. It may be different than yours, Bill, but we all have a spot inside it to say, this is what I think. There's no right or wrong, and it might help somebody else.
Well, exactly. And so, I think what we want to circle back around in terms of this headline conversation, perhaps the best headline anybody could possibly have is their reason for being here. Maybe I should call people up, like Samarit would say, what did we say, Samarit? Do you want to do business without changing your true nature? Do you want to do a business, a home, and you could just put home in front of business. Do you want to do a home business, because so they know what we're talking about, without changing your true nature? I might say, would you like to be part of changing the face of work in the world today? Somebody else, Bill Calhoun, might say something completely different. Would you like to have a business that'll get you in deeper touch with your true inner nature? Perhaps he would say that.
No,
Bruce Calkins would
got
say
the
something
information that you requested.
and Bill's going to say, I got the information you requested.
I got the information. That feels good to me. Go ahead.
Well, there you go. No, yeah. But I love it, you see. So, but maybe, I just threw out ideas just to get us started, because so many times we don't know what to say. We just don't have a framework. But once we get the ball rolling, oh, my gosh, you can tell what's happening here on the call. Oh, my gosh, So, if nothing else, perhaps the best path for any individual is to understand why they're here. What's their deep-seated true reason, their selfish, self-centered reason for being here, and then talk about it. Samarit wants to do a business without changing her true nature. I want to change the face of work. Bridge wants to do something else. Michelle Taylor something else. Bill Calhoun something else. Bruce Calkin something else. So we all, maybe that's our best headline. But I tell you, Bill, I do love great news. I got the information you requested.
Yeah,
I do like that.
Hopefully they will say what information, then I can get into what you've given us on the talking points here.
Exactly. And then also, though, tell your story. Remember we talked some time back about the personal brand. Tell your story. Who are you as a human being? What's your mission in life? All of those questions, review that. So listen, everybody, we're on the top of the hour, but I want to know, has this been helpful to you? To anybody, has it been helpful? Bruce, helpful to you?
This is Bruce. Can I interject a question about,
Please.
Or something we should probably be cognizant of as we talk to these people? And I like what Michelle said about asking them how they're doing in their search for a business, because I noticed I pulled up the leads that I received, and I see the timestamp on them. If that's correct, they all these people filled out the form back in July. So So when we say I've got that information you requested and so forth, we are going to have to remind them probably when they requested it, and on the same lines, how many other people have had access to these leads?
I have had access, and I have seen them a month, 6 weeks, 2 months, 2.5 months. Given the information requested was 2.5 months earlier. So, but that is a moot point. You just have to jog their memory. It's not difficult. Life is a journey of learning, and we learn all the time regardless. I think you have to take it one step at a time, and you'll just have to help them along. So maybe you have forgotten, but this is the information. Is this your email address? Is this your phone number? And if they confirm, then it will ring a bell. You're just jogging their memory.
And also
that's
they
a nice way of doing that, Bridge. Giving them, so you're letting them know that this is the information that they filled out.
Exactly. Yeah, and you're just gently nudging them by saying, is this your email? Is this your... So which means that if they're saying yes and yes to that means they're confirming that what information you have is correct. You don't have to visit them, you said this 2 months ago. No, you don't need to say all that. Just say, is this your email? This is what I got. Is this your phone number? This is what I got. That's why I'm calling you. Are you interested? Yes or no? And I'm here to help you. Do you need my help? It doesn't cost you anything. I'm here. I live only once. I go into the spiritual aspect as well. I combine a lot of things that people can't refute. It's a personal brand, as Bill said. My brand is, I come from a great journey with the spiritual aspect is included, and people want to listen. They always say, okay. Yeah. So
see, that's authentically you.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
When you confirm their phone number and their email, they will nod their head. Then you've got the door open.
And plus, on these leads, because Bridge, in all fairness, you tested a variety of different leads, actually. So the leads that we actually settled on were the leads that got the best response. There is a timestamp, and there is 7 questions they'd answered already. So, Samarit, if you haven't gotten your leads yet, when you do, you'll see that there's 7 questions that they've answered about, where they are in their business search. And it's great, Bruce. I think it's a great point that you verify all of that. So, I think that's excellent. And Bruce, where else do you go with that? Because you made some great observations there, and I want to be sure we get those out. As far as after you see, okay, you remind them, and so how is it you remind them, and what is it how might you approach that?
Well, I guess, if the question comes up, I think it would be interesting to find out, how they're doing with their search, and to ask them that. I really like the question: do you want to start a business where you can stay true to yourself?
Mm-hmm.
That comment was good and was a good headline.
I like that. Yep.
One of the things, most people don't remember what they ate last Monday night, and they are not going to remember something that was said 2 months ago. So, none of us remember last Monday or last Tuesday or whatever. So,
actually, we don't remember from a half hour ago,
Yeah.
So, listen, everybody, I want to be respectful of everyone's time, and so we're past the hour now, but I think we're getting good feedback here. And I just wanted to get, Bruce, your ideas completed out there, because you had a really good thought about, would you use the information, those 7 questions on the sheet, on the lead list that you got? Like, how might you use that?
Very good information to corroborate with the person. I'd ask them. I would ask them questions and see what they say, and then to see if it agrees with what they've filled out on the form.
Good.
And what I would talk to them about the value that we have in terms of for me personally, what I like about GPN is that it provides kind of a surrogate upline and business community for me, because my upline is pretty inactive, and so there's great training and leadership and all kinds of programs that my company offers, but but I don't have a. I'm looking to offer people a. Well, what would I say? A team. A team culture and community that is heart-centered like GPN, and I really like the approach. I always liked what I had studied from Michael Oliver, and so So this is great training in terms of a natural way to do this, and for each person to find their own way that works for them. And I like it because of all of the support that the Nurture Marketing Partner program offers, and the follow-up and so forth that you get help with. So
excellent.
These how-to calls, I mean, all the calls are great. I mean, you've got a lot of great material in the back office. So
and more to come. So not to worry. Good, Bruce. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, very value, and and I would just, without going into a whole lot of detail, because that's going to be the job of the Nurture Marketing Partner when they get their free consultation, I think, is to go into more detail about what GPN has to offer, but just to give them a synopsis of what we have to offer, and just to share a little of my own experience, and see if, to offer them the free consultation and go from there.
Very true. And that's something I think everybody really needs to keep in mind, is that the Nurture Marketing Partner, once you get permission, and that's all we're doing, we're asking for permission, really, to have a Nurture Marketing Partner talk to the person. The Nurture Marketing Partner sells GPN. You're just, but Samarit, Bruce, and Bill, and everybody, Briege, telling their own story in their own way, I think that can be very powerful. So we want to flow with the natural conversation. In the talking points document, we kind of go to that. We just have to get people's attention first. So, look to your own heart to see how you might get their attention. That could work. Experiment, find a test, try 10 calls with one headline and 10 calls with another. See which one works best for you, because that's what marketing is. Marketing is, 3/4 science and about 1/4 art, really. So we test, how does it feel to me over 10 calls if I say it this way? How does it feel to me over 10 calls if I say, great news, I got the information you requested? Bill, I love that. And, we all have our ways, so I think that's so important to realize. So listen, I want to be respectful of everybody's time, and I do appreciate everyone being on the call. This is recorded. It will be posted on the back office. If you have not requested your recharge call, please be sure to do that, and then we will help you every way we can. Any way I can personally help you, more than happy, just reach out, okay?
Great. Thank you so much, Bill.
You bet. Thanks, everybody. We sure appreciate it, and we'll look forward to talking with you soon. Let me know how I can be of service and help you, okay?
Thank you, Bill.
Okay. Thank you.